We're checking out with Mbappe, who has, really developed that reputation of being an exciting player from day number 1, where he went first or 8th many times. Did end up getting a pretty solid top 4 in the last game. He's opened up with an abomination brawler start, which is a lot of tankiness. But the one thing is that his comp doesn't have a lot of damage. He's hoping that strength and numbers will be able to be good enough. He's going up against Mukamaru, who has 2 stars, but just there's so much health and there's a lot of damage that just in terms of piling on in these early fights. So should be an easy win for Mbappe.
Definitely trying to keep that tempo going as we go back to Robin songs here. 3 Legionnaire, 3 Dawnbringer. A little bit awkward, but just kind of trying to capitalize on the 2 stars that he's got. It's still going to be a pretty decent board, but you're going to need to alter it a little bit going
Quite strong enough by playing for Dawnbringer. He has it for level 6.
Yeah.
He's not streaking. He's going up against Mbappe, another player who's very much in the same boat. It almost feels like every one of these players are pairing off with somebody else, as Robin trying to take down this Scion monstrosity. Scion doesn't really do much with just the Giant Slayer, especially with units that aren't at that 1600 health cap. And Rob,
See if it pays off, though.
okay, and no level 7 or level 7 on 3-3, and that makes sense because I think Hwanmi has actually timed this very ideally. Look at his health total; he's at 46. If he loses just by a few units, 3 ideally to guarantee it,
Possible.
he's gonna go down to the 40 or below, hit that stimmy, get the carousel, and then full on send. The only question is, what is he looking for? Is it just going to be a narrow set of outs, like the Spellweaver emblem, for example? The setup here with the Warmogs on the Nunu makes me think that's a possibility. The pre-level, he already wants to get some of the APM out of the way so he can focus, clear bench, clear mind. Let's see what he's got. And the fact that he's holding the Ziggs makes me think that he wants to go for the Rod off the carousel and really commit to the Spellweaver emblem to try to go for Spellweaver Vel'Koz Abomination.
Yeah. See how much damage he actually takes here, too. Looks like he's killed enough. That should be, okay, pretty good. 36, so he does hit the stimulus.
So, wait. Don't know if he got even a chance to select his item off the carousel. Either way, Radiant Blessing is a tome?
Wow,
Wait
and a bunch of gold.
a second. He might have 2 chances to Spellweaver emblem. Immediately rolls the Vel'Koz. Oh, what is this? A pivot into Lucian. So he's going to go into the Sentinel tree instead. I really anticipate him go for these Spellweavers. Plus the fact that he's able to hit it early, but he gets the Lucian anyways. Wow. Finds the Legionnaire spat. A very unusual rendition of what we're about to see here. Let's see if Hwanmi's able to stabilize.
All right. So drops the Rod on the Lucian. He's going to go up against Dudu here. Certainly improved the board, swapping it to 6 Sentinels. Certainly improving by getting that Lucian 2 as well.
Yes, very much so.
It looks like it is going to be enough, yeah.
And, 6 Sentinel at this stage of the game is really powerful. When you're talking about a 2-star Lucian, is extra good. He's choosing to not make a Jewel Gauntlet either because he wants to see what item he gets, I believe, first. And he finds Demon Slayer and Fist of Fairness both as very good options here to add to his Lucian based on what he wants.
What would you pick here? I mean, I guess if you're going Lucian, you're going to pick Fist. And yeah, he's going to go for it and slam it on the Lucian right away. So never mind. I guess our question's answered for us here.
Veins and Forgottens and going back to it. But we're checking back in with Robin songs because we kind of anticipated him to roll at 4-1. And I guess he feels confident enough to skip it and try to see if he can go for a potential fast 8. That's kind of what you're saying if you're not going to roll in this spot. And this is a little bit unusual a choice. People who tend to go for this composition feel like they want to try and at least stabilize for stage 4 in particular. And he's playing things like Kalista 2 carry. We'll see if it's good enough. Maybe he just knows that his matchups are very favorable for him. For example, El Tomo is still at level 6, not even level 7. So by all means, if you get to face a level 6 board and you know that you don't have to roll, then don't. Robin takes a little bit of a risk, but it pays off, and he's not going to seem to be punished for the first half of stage 4 here.
Lose by a ton if you do lose. Only lost by 1 in that last round. We're going to swap over to Scapeus, where the party's at. And he's got some tanky items on the Kled.
Oh.
All right.
Well,
interesting.
The most interesting thing to me in particular is the fact that he chose to itemize Jax with a blue buff. This is a nod to the fact that Jax's mana base. I mean, with blue buff, he's basically permanently using his Empower Strike to jump, and he gets a lot of mobility. It's almost kind of like he's a miniature Cavalier. Only problem is that he jumps straight into the fire of Hwanmi's culling. Lucian instantly deleting the Jax. Excuse me. So the positioning difference. Wow.
Yeah. It actually nearly killed Frodan to see that. That was what that Jax did just now.
Situation. The lack of upgrades, Aphelios too.
Oh. All right. I mean, it's not itemized. He dedicated the items to the Akshan. There's an Akshan too! Frodan, you called it. I didn't believe. I was foolish. I need to have more faith in NA, apparently. Robinsong's hitting exactly what he needed to. And now he's got a shot. He's got a chance.
I mean, now he has to focus on his positioning, Dyna in particular, and he's not out of the woods yet because he doesn't have the Volibear. So this is still a situation where Robin could easily take a nasty loss, and it'd be the end of it. In terms of positioning, there's nothing that really challenges him. There's a Karma 2 coming up from Chi2, and Akshan is so difficult to do. His heroic swing, immediately assassinating the Karma, out of damage, out of luck, and Chi2 stuck at level 7, unable to go to 8, is going to also take big damage. Robinsongs is on a path at stage 5 to climb back into contention for top 4. But for Nugamaru's side, he chooses Quicksilver. He needs something to secure the defensiveness of Vayne. A lot of times people like using a healing item, for example, or just more damage amplification. I think Quicksilver is totally fine. And a Cavalier emblem as well. Did not find the Forgotten, which I think would have been the ultimate cherry on top to go 6 Forgotten, just based off his current board state. But hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is indeed. He's going to go Cavalier Draven. Draven's coming in. he's melee Draven now, but you know what it does, Frodan? It does give you more survivability on one of your champions that's going to be doing theoretically a lot of damage. So it's kind of wacky, but yeah, I'm down for it. Why not? You know?
Have you seen Draven do his best moonwalk? Because you're about to. Just waltzing right up to the front line. That's right. Yeah. You don't have to worry about frontline Draven positioning if you put a Cavalier emblem, because he will cruise to the front line.
I feel like this is lore appropriate Draven. If you're familiar with League of Legends lore, he likes to show off a little bit, so this works for me. It does get him the win in the round. I can't say I've seen a lot of Cavalier Dravens over the course of set 5, but I like it. Lore appropriate.
That's right. You've been hit by a smooth Cavalier, is I believe how it goes. As we go into another board, Meta Eltomo looking for his Akshan as well. Similar state to Robinsongs, but it's a lot weaker, and he's playing an older variation of the Akshan, a build that uses 6 Sentinel. But here's the problem is that we don't know if Akshan gets the Sentinel buff, because Sentinels has been since reworked to be given to whoever has the most items. Trying to see if he can go for the Mistral. Hits it on the Ashe because he didn't have something in position for the Vayne. Trying to see if he can get to the Vayne in the backside. The Giant Slayer is going to do a lot of work. Akshan gets hooked by the Thresh. The death sentence be able to take out his carry. This is bad news here for Eltomo.
I mean, yep, that's a death sentence for sure. It's the Thresh ability, and it's being able to hit 4 Ranger for that Akshan is just huge. Going up against the Jax now, if he can get behind it with the Akshan and do some damage, he does get exactly behind it, right on the Jax like he wants to be. Swings away though. The Jax so low HP, but he can sustain back up with the Bloodthirster. He can't leave that Jax alone for too long. Teemo coming in, slowing down the attacks as well. That's helping out so much. But it's Akshan versus the world right now. Turns around. If he gets one more cast off, I think he can do it. Woo! He does. That was a close round. But Robin stays alive.
That Akshan swings on every single time he's able to cast his ability is the only thing that's separating him in a bottom 4 finish. A reposition. He's queuing up into Nukamaru's board, the Vayne, and you know, it's in a pretty decent position to has to get into the back line and assassinate the carry.
Now the first Teemo ult looked like it was absorbed. The second one does hit the Vayne as well. That Teemo is just like focus firing the Vayne, it looks like. But the Akshan, he's down, and this is not looking good for Robin. Even your friendly neighborhood Akshan was not enough to swing.
Yeah, using the Nico's
gives up the
help
chance.
there.
Exactly. Gives up the chance at the MF3, though. But he doesn't even have an MF on the board, so I guess he was still pretty far away from that, isn't he?
Yeah, a couple MFs here and there for sure. Positioning for Mbappe is good. It's actually going down the center to try to see if he can target the Vayne just through the beam, but actually just one cell over because the way the Hecarim was thrown back ends up targeting the bottom right. But it doesn't matter. The front line is just so powerful. Daisy's taking infinite damage, and Mbappe is wiping Nukamaru. Mbappe is coming for that first place. Top 4 is not good enough for this man.
So quite the like mental fortitude to stay in there despite that thing kind of derailing you, mentally during the middle of the game. Pretty impressive here, but this last round, it's that blue buff Jax. But now the blue buff Viego too is a big threat as well. This is going to be an interesting last round. It's all coming down to positioning, isn't it?
Come down to positioning. Jax has historically not been a good matchup for Vel'Koz, but the Fortnite variation does give him a little bit better against the tick damage in particular. The Viego's on the right side. If Viego can be able to steal an important unit, maybe you can see some action going onto the Brand. Here comes the Doombringer plus a disintegration ray. Jax taking maximum damage. Viego trying to see if he can turn. Turns the Vel'Koz. He doesn't get the Spellweaver trait though. So I don't think it's going to be enough. Here comes the beam. The disintegration the other way. And the
Vel'Koz got tossed to safety
from Scippius, trying to turn the tides of the fight. And the Viego able to use Sovereign Domination to potentially win this lobby. 1 HP apiece.
HP to 1 HP. Yeah. I can't remember the last time I've seen this in a game of TFT. This is insane.
Yes.
I love it.
It's as close as it gets. And there's one thing I recommend, which is full corner. Clump everything in the bottom corner. Do not let Viego or Diana get near. You have a Banshee's Claw. You have an ability to at least take one of those casts. There are a couple of units you are afraid of. The skip and slash from the Gwen could end up doing a lot. And Mbappe sees the line. He goes for the full corner. The swap at the last second here from Skip to try to see if he can get the Viego. Is this going to be enough?
Viego's coming in. All right. He decides to... Oh, he can't grab anything early on. Viego tossed out. He's going to be stunned for a little bit. Here comes Daisy again. That Vel'Koz is so well protected. Can he get the cast off? He can. The Gwen coming in, but not quite doing enough. Here comes the Abomination as well, and it's looking pretty good for Mbappe right now, and it's going to be a win.